Fakkaadu balleessa dukkana galma walitti qabdee gootu firaa fi aanaa yaa sagalee dhugaa sagalee dhabee yaa to'ataa hunda qabaataa fi hiyyee yaa kan hawaasa ofii to'ataa Oromiyaa 11 A mirror of truth, a light breaking the night, a voice for the voiceless, restoring the right. Ya sochusa hunda, ya damaksa saba, oso adani coding kan hunda waliti kaba. You move every heart, awaken every soul, a bridge through generations.
First of all, I would say thank you for your patience and staying in the waiting where we are prepared. I also like to thank whoever helping at the door, inside, everywhere. And those guests came from Canada, from in America, everywhere. So thank you for coming. So as explained, we're gonna have a dinner and then we will continue celebrating. So dinner is prepared by our famous restaurant owner, Bakotufa. I hope you're going to enjoy the food and I will welcome all of you again. Thank you.
You bring our history into the open air, uniting our people everywhere. Hakni sa guddina, hakni sa barnoota, ta'uu kan barsiifte hunduma dhaluuta. You raise our language, restore what was denied, teaching justice, growth and pride. Yaa kan hin beekne na arga, Oromiyaa 11, yaa daawwitii dhugaa. Oromiyaa, Oromiyaa. Keessatti hawaasa ijaaruuf eenyummaan Oromoo akka eegame waaruuf daluuta haaraaya badiirra baraaru jidduu kalee fi hargaatti riqicha ijaaru isa addaan fagaate walitti harkisuuf wal guddisuu malee wal diqqeessuu dhiisuu hawaasa ijaaru kulkullu kaleessa balatte waan hunda dandeette baga harda geette yaa gaaddisa hawaasa baganuuf dalatte. To those who doubt, come see and understand the mirror of truth that firmly stands. Yaa kennaa dhugaadha ijaa fi gurra hawaasa sitti yaadametti hin uumamne tasa. Bakka hawaasni kee hundi isaa jirutti, bakka haqni hawaasa galee hin dhumnetti. A gift of vision, not born by chance, where truth lives on and justice advances. Hanga dhalli Oromoo gafarraa hin dhumnetti, sagaleen Oromoo itti bahaa deemti. Dalattee hin duutu horaa deemta malee, hawaasni kee gaarii siif ta'a. Kan qabu qabeenyaan inni kun beekumsaan inni tokko yaadaan inni tokko gorsaan dhiiraa fi dubartii intalli Oromoo hundi si
the Honorable Naomi Wagojilo is here from Nairobi, Kenya. She's an Oromo from Marsabit County, a woman representative, and she's also a deputy whip of the ruling party in the Kenyan National Assembly. Welcome, Ade Naomi. Baganagandumte, Oromoni. Yeah. Ade Naomi. And this is the first time that we have a Kenyan Oromo coming to speak at OSA as a keynote speaker. And probably, I don't know if she's the first woman, that I don't know, but we are honored to have her here among us. And
thank you very much. The reason is it's a 40th anniversary of OSA, and we are having a parliamentarian, Kenyan parliamentarian, Oromo parliamentarian here in the middle of us. And I think that highlights the achievement of OSA itself. So something that we should be very mindful of. And I will invite Dr. Bone, and I think she will tell us what is next.
Welcome, Honorable Naomi. We're very glad to have you with us. I'm here to introduce a video that was put together by Ano, who is here, a young member of the organizing committee. We invited the former presidents of OSA. There are 27 of them, I think. Some served twice. OSA began, as we know, as a part of a long history of Oromos coming together to talk about their condition and to push back against the dominant narrative that had developed in Ethiopia. And in 2019, Mohammed Hassan, who is here with us, gave a keynote speech in Finfinne about the path that Oromo Studies Association has taken since 1986. In the beginning, there were chairs that were elected or were volunteered, appointed to organize conferences starting in the late 80s, 87, 88, 89. We began electing presidents in 1990, formed boards, had bylaws, and developed, over the years. We have invited former presidents to give a short synopsis of when they served, what the themes were, where the conferences were held during the times that they were serving as president. And many of them complied. We are going to watch them. They spoke for a minute. The longest was 4 minutes, which is not too long because they had a lot of accomplishments. We will be compiling these and hopefully we'll be getting more. But to celebrate and to see how many and the kind of leadership that we've had over the years, OSA is a volunteer organization. OSA survives and is established on the membership dues of its members and registration fees that we will collect tomorrow, and donations from active people who are interested to see OSA succeed. So it basically has floated on a sea of goodwill in the Oromo community, has invited many non-Oromos who are familiar and studying Oromo issues. But our presidents over the years have varied from different fields, different universities, different capacities. And the presidents have been in charge of the conferences, and they have taken a lot of responsibility. And OSA has survived and has succeeded and in many ways thrived on the energy, the volunteer efforts of its members and its president.
I don't know about you, but I felt this weight, the weight of responsibility, because this giant, it is on the shoulder of this giant that this organization has propelled. And it is now on our hand. And it is very humbling to listen to them, to to what they have done. Voluntarily, like Dr. Kabale said, it's voluntary. And OSA has never paid anybody. And people were devoting their time, their energy, their money for free for the cause, to bring to light for everybody to know the story that for some reason, the story that was suppressed not to be told. And I was listening to this story, and many of you would know this. And these giants, when they first came 40, 35, something years ago to here in America, and they wanted to present like the stories of Oromo, scientific stories, historical, and environmental, or whatever, to the community of the peers, of people who came from the same country. And there was a moment when Oromo's story was not allowed to be told. And it is the moment such as that, it was the experience such as that, that pushed this giant to put together something like this, so that at last they can tell their own story in their own ways. And so that is also the achievement of the OSA, in my opinion. It is very humbling for this generation, for generations such as mine, but also it is inspiring too. And at least that is how I find it. And with this, I will call upon the president, the current president of OSA, to make a remark on this 40th anniversary of OSA, looking back and looking forward, OSA 40 years. And I will invite Dr. Ibrahim Oromo.
Thank you, Dr. Teklab. Professor Teklab is a very good friend of mine. I always tell people that he's one of the people that I have known to ascend to the full rank of a professor within a very short time. And I'm very proud of your friendship and for always honoring my request for you to come and be among us when there are challenges. Something that I will also talk about in this reflection, looking back and looking forward. I'm very happy that Professor Gopana Huluga mentioned the fact that I was invited to speak at OSA in the year 2007. I spoke at the 2007 conference about the HIV/AIDS pandemic in Oromia and all the challenges. And later on, Professor Muhammad Hassan asked me, I think they liked me, and he said, please don't decline if I nominate you to serve as a president-elect. And I said, if I face the risk of dying in Borana speaking against the government, which I did speak, I said, you call me to serve an Oromo organization? I was a resident physician at the university in Chicago. It was not an easy task for me to serve in this organization, OSA, because I believe that they invited me, not because I wasn't paid, but they believe that I have something valuable to share to the Oromo and the world. It's that organization that asked me its leadership to serve. I didn't say I'm a resident, I cannot serve. I said, I will do my best. And I did serve as the OSA president. in 2014, and I did not want OSA to be the organization of the elites for the elites, the PhDs for the PhDs. I said that I'm going to talk about the OSA looking back, and then I will talk about looking forward. I said I would like, I used to be so much fascinated by not hearing things from the PhDs, but sometimes from the Oromo elders. And I used to know people that come from Bale, and I met them here, and someone shared with me about the Bale resistance and how some of those elders that took part in the 1960s, the Domber movement, some of them there are only 4 of them left. Most of them had died. I said, if the 50th year anniversary is this year, I'm going to actually organize the mid-year conference to celebrate the 50th year anniversary of the Bale Oromo resistance. And the board wasn't too happy. I can tell you that, because usually it is, within this organization, there is a culture of sometimes forgetting the fact that this is an academic institution. Academic institution. Some people think that when oil fails, Oromo political parties fail, OSA would fill that void. And some of the Oromos, the educated, the uneducated, feel like OSA should actually do the job of the Oromo political parties, advocating for the Oromo people's rights and organizing rallies. And of course, some of also the OSA scholars, members, and leadership sometimes have failed to actually distinguish between the fact that OSA is an academic institution that advocates for the Oromo people's rights, entertains all ideas, regardless of whether you are on the left or on the right, whether you are nationalist or a centrist or a leftist. There were challenges. Those were the challenges within this institution. It has to grow and become a big organization where people actually want to come and compete and serve based on merits and accomplishments. That said, I want to summarize my looking forward by a challenge. One of the challenges that we have is to actually encourage young people to come and serve. The fear of young people, the fear of the unknowns has to come to an end. We allow all people in this country, whites, blacks, Asians, all can become members of OSA. If they can become member of OSA, an Oromo with any political attitude or belief, there is no barrier except believing in the organizational mission and saying, I'm willing to serve OSA and become a member. You have to have the right to serve, come, be a member, and stand for a position and serve. Members can elect, members can say you don't qualify. And that I would say is a challenge, and a challenge I hope we will overcome. We should actually, the 40th year celebration, this is the end of a cycle, 40 years. One GADA cycle has come to an end. Some of its founding members have passed recently. Some of our former presidents are elders, and we need young people to come and own that mission and take the organization forward. And with that, I want to say thank you for everyone for coming, for actually believing that this organization is still contributing, will continue to contribute for, as someone said, for generations. And with that, I welcome you all to OSA, and I hope to see many of you at the annual conference tomorrow and the day after. Thank you.
Chilala nangari, Oromo walarkise. Bandara remukuma, darga koda setani, kamara tinukuma, darga koda setani. Shani waro bitate, ilongalana leto, karkara daka male, tipo garana chito, kaparambasa male. Kandara remukuma, daga koda setani, kamara tinukuma, daga koda setani, emoya guraleo, baksana turgayo, emoya guraleo, baksana turgayo. Wailele, kotulele, wayaramaya daite doni lubun kamne, faranjicha tolche kadalagan kamne, kompoleza jechun namadadan kamne, koduti nambadi kulle jalatiya nakadiman kamne. Moroma, Durar Kabule, Melody Gadin Tai, Marto Marine.